What's up, guys, and welcome back to the No Ball Knowledge Podcast. Where today we're going to be covering FC Barcelona, and we're making this video right after the breaking news of Rodri officially making the move. Lots of speculations, lots of rumors, but Yadi, your football club has signed Rodri from Manchester City. Talk to me about how you're feeling right now.
I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I think honestly, I'm a huge fan of this guy. Um, what can we say about him? I feel like probably in world football today, he's the only guy, obviously, that is still like within age, who's literally a living legend of the sport, right? So I'm very happy. I feel bad for him, right? I'm giving the fact of the hate that he's gonna get from Madrid now, given the fact that he stole like the Ballon d'Or from Vinicius according to them, and now he joins Barcelona after supposedly like they wanted him. So who knows how that's gonna go? But from us, it gives us so much, Javi. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, "I'm completely fair." Okay, your team, like the best part about your team is the midfield, which I agree. You lost Lewandowski, you lost Ferran. You don't like you haven't really bought anybody like naturally to replace them. Your defense is an absolute joke. We've all seen that. I mean, there's no hiding that. And you haven't signed nobody there. Like, what's going on? Why go and actually improve in the position where you're the most covered? And this is what happens when you get a player like Rodri. This is a once in a generation type player. He just improves your team from everywhere, just from that position. I think the defense is going to be so much better with him. I think that on the team's leadership is going to be so much better. The team's IQ, the just how to manage the games, the experience. He just brings so much to this team, and yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I actually feel this signing came a lot of years later for us. I would have loved for him to go from from Atletico to Barcelona in 2019 when he was younger. I feel like that would have set us up so great. And it didn't happen then. It is what it is. It happened now. But I'm just extremely happy, so happy for this signing, especially given the fact that De Jong came back from the World Cup injured. He might be out like the whole year, so it just fits perfectly for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny that you mentioned that because I was thinking it, and brother, I remember when we were just teenagers back in the day. When Rodri was over at Atletico Madrid, you were saying, "Oh my God, I want this kid, I want this kid, I want this kid." He was such a Barcelona coded player. So it's just like, I mean, credit to Barca because you feel like a lot of the signings that they made in recent years are actually players that fit the Barcelona mold. A lot of them have been players that kind of like left La Masia in their younger days. They brought them back. They're now focused on kind of bringing that talent through within. And I think it's no surprise that you've seen a rejuvenated Barcelona side playing better football, doing very well. How many kids from Barcelona were actually a part of that, Spanish national team just went on to win the World Cup. So it's a good thing to see that a club of that stature that caught the hearts and minds of so many fans from around the world alike to finally be embracing what makes them them, right? Their footballing identity. And if there's one player that epitomizes that right now, it's probably Rodri and the other one is Pedri. And so to have both of those guys in your midfield, fantastic. And I do agree with you. I think it's going to improve you guys drastically in all areas of the pitch. I mean, just look at the statistics of, City's win percentage when he starts versus when he doesn't start. And it looks like, top numbers and Man City, it's two completely different teams. So I do agree that he's going to give you a lot more. The only thing that I would push back on, Yadi, and it's just more so to play devil's advocate. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation about you guys going after Julian Alvarez. Atletico Madrid obviously doesn't want to sell to a direct rival. Julian Alvarez is pushing for the move internally. It seems like the player himself is doing everything that he can to engineer the move. From the outside looking in, I see this signing, given Rodri's injury record, given his age, given the fact that it's a position you're already heavily covered in. I see this as almost as a resignation on their end that the Julian Alvarez signing is not going to happen this year. Not sure what you think of that, if you agree, because it kind of just seems to me like they're going to be moving on into the season with no Julian Alvarez up top. Do you agree with that or no?
Despite the fact that the people in Catalonia want to sell us the world and the stars and the sun and everything that belongs in it, I don't think Julian Alvarez is going to come. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I mean, Atletico cannot go against their own word. They came out and said, "It doesn't matter how much you want to pay. Like, we're not going to sign. Like we're not going to let him go. Forget if you send 150. Forget if you send 200. We're just not going to let him go. That's just a fact." So I think for them, like for the Barcelona standpoint, it was one of those things where it was like, okay, we're not going to get him. I mean, we just say whatever we want and hopefully we get him. I mean, I'm probably the happiest guy we get him. I personally like don't think we will. So I think like they were probably like, look, we're not gonna get him. Let's waste this money on. I mean, like we're getting a huge market opportunity because obviously, even though it's kind of crazy, um, it seemed like there were only two teams in the race for Rodri because he obviously wanted to go back to Spain, right? He didn't want to go to PSG. He didn't want to try something new. So he, like given his age and what at the point that he's in his career, he wanted to go back to Spain. So it was always like only black between Real Madrid and Barcelona. We get a top player. So let's just waste the money on him. He could improve our squad. Is it what we need? No, let's be honest, it's not. But it's probably we're probably not even gonna get the guy that we need anyways. And instead of going out there, I thought we were linked to Luis Suarez, the striker for Sporting Lisbon, which is a joke. So instead of doing something crazy like that and wasting 80 million on a guy of that caliber, I'd rather waste the money that we did on Rodri. And we know like the type of player he is, how perfect he should fit to our team, and just keep going from there. I completely agree with you. I feel like they don't believe that they're really gonna get Julian Alvarez. So like they're looking at it as a, hey, let's just waste the money here, and instead of just sitting around or wasting it on somebody that honestly doesn't make sense.
I will say this though, I think stupid for Real Madrid to not want to sign that player who I think had pretty much made up his mind that Real Madrid was going to be his destination. So I think if anything, you kind of just took it from a direct rival that would have massively improved them. And yeah, no, I think it's a good signing for you guys. I think it'll elevate you, especially with what was actually available to you. And also, I think smart move from the player. Obviously, coming back off of a big injury, heading into the final years of his career. I think him making the move to Spain, where the physicality is a lot less intense, I think is going to allow him to kind of stretch these final years for himself as much as he can. So I think smart move from the player as well. Um, and yeah, you look at La Liga. We talked about Real Madrid already. We know they're in shambles. Atletico Madrid, that they'll make a lot of noise, but they can never really kick on. This is a league that you should be winning comfortably. So from the outside looking in, I think that it's harsh, but I think success for you guys this year is either win the Champions League or win the Champions League. And I kind of do you have the tools available right now? Like you said, you're not bringing in that striker. You've lost Lewandowski. Ferran Torres is moving on. Maybe wasn't your key player, but still a key element of your squad depth that got key goals for you. Do you think you have the tools at your disposal to actually challenge for the Champions League, or do you see it falling short? Another stupid red card somewhere in a quarterfinal, and you're out, sooner rather than later.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Javi. I think we have to wait and see how the team is gonna look. I feel like with Rodri, we might actually get closer to what we saw with Spain in the World Cup. And when it comes to the high line, or at least I'm hoping, because yeah, if we go and we keep playing how we were playing with that high line, I don't think we have enough. It's just not gonna happen. Like we don't have our center backs are passing enough. I don't have a problem up top, honestly. I feel like everybody in the Barcelona, I'm probably like one of the few ones that that believes this. Yeah, you want a striker, but we don't have a goal problem. We really don't. You can look up our goal numbers. Our goal, everybody in our team scores, and we score. We literally average like over 3 goals per game. Like, yeah, of course you want to play like Julian Alvarez. He's one of the best strikers in the world. He's one of the best players in the world. Who wouldn't want him? But our problem is not our goals. Our problem is our back. Is our defense. So I sit there, and of course, I'm always going to believe that and that we could do it because I believe that we have the best player in the world in Lamine Jamal, and we've been close. Like, I mean, let's not act like this is a team that's struggling to even win. We've been extremely close to actually making it back to the final. But with our playing style, there's always going to be questions on it. So my biggest question is, okay, like how are we going to look under Rodri? Is he going to be a player that he's going to be good enough to sort of help us defensively, or are we just going to be playing Russian roulette every match in Champions League? And I want to ask you from the outside looking in, because obviously PSG is the top dog. Arsenal is second because they deserve it, like the one that took on the Champions League last year. And the last in finals is like they came as close as anybody could come. It feels like that next step is probably Barca and Bayern, right? Like I think if anybody would have to say, how do you look at this signing? Is this something that you say like from the outside looking in, man, like this team is actually gonna like they could actually just win like what they have now, or are they missing another piece for you to actually take them serious? From the outside looking in.
I think Rodri's going to give you something, but it's just a matter of how much of an influence is Rodri going to be able to have over that particular team if he's going to take on that leadership role. Because I think that the one thing Barcelona has been missing for a long time now is game management. I think the reason you say Russian roulette is because you know exactly where you're going to get from Barcelona. And I think one of the reasons why they've struggled against Atletico in the Champions League so many times is that Atletico, uses that to their advantage. Across a 38 game season, you guys will always have that edge over them. But it feels like Barcelona is has never really been capable of being able to understand. Okay, we got the goal. Let's maybe drop back 10 yards. Let's control the things of the game more. Let's understand that this is across 180 minutes, and let's manage it. Let's take different approaches. And I think that's where you get exploited. I mean, even Bayern Munich, perfect example, very vulnerable at the back, playing into PSG's hands, lost on the counter. So I think Rodri has that dirtiness about him. He is a bit of a dirty player. People don't realize that, but he does kick you. He does foul you. He's just very smart. He knows how to get away with it. So if he can give them that element of game management, bringing in a little bit more of the shithousery element to it, knowing when to defend, knowing when to slow things down, knowing how to bring that side of the game that, let's be real, I don't think Barcelona in its history never had. They were just so good on the ball and so good from a technical perspective that they didn't need to bring that. They didn't need to have that. If he can give you guys that, then I think it will be a force to be reckoned with. But if there's one word that I have to use for Barcelona when it comes to if there's one thing that's going to prevent them from getting to a Champions League final, for me it would be naivete. Is him falling for the traps, is him falling for, those diving situations, getting the silly penalty, getting the city, second yellow, pushing too high on the line, a 1-1 game in the 90th minute, instead of taking it to extra time, you're pushing with 10 guys up trying to get the winner, leaving yourself, exposed. Those are the kind of different things that I see kind of Barcelona being the reason why they don't win it. And it's more so them losing to themselves from not learning from the mistakes of the past than them losing from a team. Because I don't think they will lose to a PSG from a technical perspective. I don't think they would lose to Arsenal from a technical perspective. I don't think the physicality is going to be really something that is going to beat them. I think we saw in the recent World Cup that, the technique will always beat physicality. We saw it in the Champions League final as well. I think it's just that aspect of the game that they still need to learn and improve on. Not sure if you concur with that.
Yeah, I agree, and this is why I think Rodri is so important because I feel we could look at the last 2 years, like in Barcelona, right? And who was the leader, right? Who was the player coach in there? We didn't really have one if you think about
Bro,
it.
Rafinha, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Honestly,
crazy.
I don't think we should even say that. I mean, I don't think we do him any favors. but and finally now we have a guy that learned on the Pep that he's done this. Like I feel like people are like looking at it and they want to put all these excuses around Rodri. Guys, like Rodri is not playing for his legacy anymore. This guy already cemented himself as one of the best midfielders of all time. He's literally playing like he's gonna sign a 4-year contract. And we know in today's game, like we see players like Messi who are 39 killing in the World Cup. Let's forget about that. Let's say that he retires at 34, like when his contract is over. He has 4 years now to just add and see where he ends in that conversation with Xavi, with Iniesta, with Modric, and with Busquets, with all this, like with Pirlo, with all these great guys. People don't realize he's won the Champions League, he's won the Euros, he won the World Cup, he won the Premier League. He was the best player in all those tournaments, scored the winning goal. Like this guy is here to do that.
Won a Ballon d'Or.
He won the Ballon d'Or. He won like the player of the Champions League, like like that they won it. He is here to cement himself, his ranking in the all-time greats, and that's where, like you said, I completely agree. There were so many times where I mean, we would talk of like amongst ourselves, where like Barcelona is doing something. It's like, dude, like what are you doing? Like you have the lead. Like calm down, stop exposing yourself. We saw it in the Atletico Madrid match. I feel like with a player like Rodri, he will be like that guy. I'll be like, hey, everybody, calm down, like chill. Give me the ball, and we're gonna take care of things. Whereas before, it felt like Barcelona was a team with like a bunch of kids that were just going out there, and it was very fun, of course, because you see, I mean, it looked like a basketball match, like back and forth, back and forth. But when you get to the Champions League and you get to the big games, I mean, you need a player management. You need somebody that's gonna be smart, somebody that's gonna kick you, and somebody's gonna control like the tempo. And I think he just brings all that to the team. I mean, obviously, I would love to get another center back. I would love to get a striker, but just getting him, I just think he gives so much from the experience standpoint. I think this team is missing so much experience, so much game management, and you bring him. I mean, you are literally getting the best that you could get when it comes to that, to that specific category. So I'm just extremely happy with that signing.
No, and we shall see very, very soon exactly what level of influence he's going to have. And it should be an exciting one. And more importantly, I think it's important that the likes of Barcelona, reach the heights. I think football as a whole just needs it. And hopefully we can see that from a lot of the bigger clubs across Europe, to kind of make the Champions League have the same kind of, glow and kind of prestige that it used to have. But yeah, we'd love to get your thoughts below. Let us know what you guys think of the Rodri signing. Was it a luxury signing for Barcelona? Was it a kind of a silly situation for them to make? Is this a resignation that they won't get Julian Alvarez, or do you still think that transfer is possible? Would love to would love to know what you guys think, and we'll catch you on the next one.